Hello, hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Sweet.
I love the new music, and it really just changes the game. It brings a whole new energy to Weekly Wednesdays. It's a party. It's a 10 a.m. party.
It's a party. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a weekly party.
Yeah. On the East, in Europe, for all the European folks, kind of is a party. It's kind of a little Wednesday night. It's like, I think in Australia right now, it's probably like 5 a.m., just a late Tuesday night, late Wednesday night.
Right now. Sweet. Well, yeah. I mean, this is a exciting Weekly Wednesday. I think, what is this, our 6th now? 7th? I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, it's been cool because the last few weeks we've had just a lot of interesting things to talk about on these. But today is a big one because it's our first ever Weekly Wednesday, our first Weekly Wednesday of like a launch week. So a lot of things to talk about. I think it would be just cool just to dive into. I mean, we'll hold off on what we released today. If you're on the email list, which everybody probably is, you probably saw it this morning, but it just went live on our website 2 minutes ago at 10 a.m. But before we jump into the new feature we've released, you want to just give a little recap of like how the week's been going so far, like what you've seen and how Product Hunt went, messaging, all of the above.
Totally. I mean, it's been like a wild week. I feel like it's just been like, I mean, it's funny. Like we create this energy for ourselves, right? But it's like it definitely feels like you're riding something propulsive, even though it's just the two of us doing this, and like it's all just coming from inside us. But no, I mean, it's been like just every day, making a blog post, making a YouTube video, linking them together, and then that causes a bunch of work that cascades from it, social media promotion, email promotion, et cetera, really just trying to get the message out. And I mean, it's exciting because we've got folks engaging across all of our channels. We've got 20,000 users, so it's or almost 20,000 users. So yeah, I mean, it's been electric from the growth side of things.
What do you think's been the best growth channel so far? And then what do you think has been the worst? I mean, like what's something that we thought might have been working but didn't so far?
It's hard to say, really. I mean, like for example, yesterday we had our Product Hunt launch. So Product Hunt was more of like a wrapper launch. It wasn't for any one feature of launch week. It was for sort of the overarching functionality that's been launched this week and over the last few weeks. So the energy there was exciting. I mean, like there's lots of great comments and reviews. People love cloning. They love, I mean, everyone sort of expresses their own favorite feature. But
Just for people in the audience who might not know what Product Hunt is, what is it?
Oh yeah. So Product Hunt is a website where people launch new products. And it's one of the oldest ones. I mean, now there's probably thousands of these sites, but this is the one that probably gets the most brand awareness, at least in the Bay Area, for like SaaS products, tech products, that sort of stuff. But even more so now with AI and things like that. So basically, you launch a product at midnight Pacific time, and then you get 24 hours to see how many upvotes you can get, how many comments. It used to be just upvotes based, but now there's an algorithm based off of engagement, based off of comments, back and forth, sort of the engagement behind a post. So yeah, that was a big part of yesterday, at least for maybe like an hour or two. I was just responding to folks, lots of positive comments about sort of podcasting 2.0 and the future of podcasting. I mean, we really are sort of, I mean, what's cool about us is that we weren't building a podcast product before Jellypod, right? Like we came from, diverse experiences where we were building tangential stuff, right? Like I was on the marketing side, often making content very similar to podcasts to help grow businesses. You were on Amazon Alexa with voice and audio and that sort of relationship. I mean, to give a big shout out to Pierson. I mean, he worked on one of the most, groundbreaking products, I think, of the last probably 5 years, right? It kind of changed the at-home dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool is we brought these experiences with us. We brought our sort of our requirements for what it meant to make quality audio experiences that people truly liked, and then we just sort of ran with it. And Jellypod sort of doesn't have the same shackles of like the old podcasting world, right? We're thinking about things drastically differently, and we might be wrong sometimes, but I think it helps us do things that I think weren't really, thought of.
Totally. I mean, just to give some context too, like this morning I had a call with the founder of this podcasting app called Snipped, Kevin Smith over there, and he was a guest on one of my favorite podcasts, Latent Space. It's AI engineering podcast. It's pretty cool. I DM'd Kevin. I was like, "Hey, love the interview. I'd love to chat." His Snipped is just podcasting that allows you to take little snippets of um, meaningful content in your podcast. So if a host has been like saying something, you could just snip it and then it'll save to your library. We had a big conversation about the future of creation in media and all of the above, and just super interesting because I think that like where we both aligned on was that there's this long tail of content, and to make it easier for people to create content is a good thing. And we saw this with like Notebook LM. Are people listening to Notebook LM podcasts over the long term? I don't think so, but I think there's something there, and that's kind of what we're trying to double down on and really figure out like how can we make a podcasting experience that lowers the barrier of entry for most people, like everybody watching this stream, just to create whatever they want to create. And I shared a few podcasts with him, and it was a cool experience. But yeah, I mean, launch week's been going well. It was day 3 today. Day 1, the big announcement there was video audiograms. So now when you generate your podcast, you see a video on the right hand side that gets rendered when you publish. It automatically will pull in and reflect changes in your title, your description, the background color, the episode artwork. And so hopefully when you publish that episode and you're just doing all the things that you were doing normally, now in addition you get a well designed just basic audiogram video when you publish, so without any extra work necessary. That's kind of like the key. We want to add features that don't really add more work by default, with ability to customize it later, of course. So that was day 1, audiograms. And then day 2, yesterday, we didn't have a podcast or a weekly Wednesday, weekly Tuesday live stream yesterday. But yesterday we released actually a really cool feature called web search. This was a heavily requested thing that a lot of people, if you're creating a podcast in Jellypod, you upload your sources, links to websites, PDFs, websites, all of the above. But a lot of times, the information that people were looking to create podcasts on was real time information, like a sports score or a just the news that happened in politics or something along those sorts. And in order to get that content into your podcast, you had to go out and find the URL and add it into your podcast as a source and do all of the above. That's great. And that still works today. It's perfect. I think that really allows you the flexibility to go out and just pick the exact sources from places you trust and places you want to include in your podcast. But now, in addition, web search gives you the functionality directly in Jellypod to just type in a natural language query, like a search, and we'll go out to the internet, we'll fetch the information, summarize that information, and provide citations and sources from where we got that info, which then you could use in your podcast. So now you can stay more in Jellypod without having to go out and figure out where to get the information. You're just going to say what information you want to get, and now you'll have it. So that was a pretty big feature yesterday. We see a lot of usage there. With March Madness coming out, I'm stoked for this because I hope somebody will create a March Madness podcast. If not, maybe I will, but I hope somebody that's like a huge sports fan, huge college sports fan will create a March Madness one since it started yesterday. For everybody in the U.S. who cares about March Madness, I know there's a lot of people overseas, but it's a college basketball tournament here that takes the United States by storm during March. So, yeah.
64 teams and a single elimination format, which is very different than I feel like how the EU likes to watch soccer or basketball or football or basketball, where it's like a league matchup, you play twice, different ideas of fairness and whatnot, but it's so electric, right? Because anybody can win, anybody can lose.
So if you're creating a March Madness podcast, and let me know, just ping us in the Discord, share it in there. I want to listen because hopefully I'll watch a lot of those games, but I might not get around to all of them.
Yeah,
but
actually, a small shout out here. If you're working on like on March Madness, or if you have other ideas, this is something that this is sort of a bigger project of mine, hopefully over the next month. But if you have other ideas for hubs of related content like March Madness that would be interesting, and you want our team to help enable you to do that, please let us know. I'll share more in the coming weekly Wednesdays as well. But just wanted to plant that seed.
Sweet. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then I see a comment over here about web search. Yeah, you could still upload documents in addition to web search. So web search is just if you enable it for that one source, it's just one source. So it's actually pretty cool. So if you're like out there putting in a bunch of links already to create your podcast, now if you use web search, that only uses one of your sources up for that podcast episode. So you can kind of get more information in there if that's kind of what you want to do. But I think the real reason that today is super exciting is because it's day 3. We have a new feature to launch. Some of you have already used it. It's been live. There was some conversation in the Discord about it yesterday. So Brandon in the Discord, shout out to you, talking about that. Thought there was a bug. No bug, thank God. It's great. But today we're happy to announce custom domains. So Chris, also in the Discord, you've been asking for this nonstop. So it's alive. It's live today. You can now bring in your own custom domain into Jellypod, set up the DNS, super easy, and you could have your podcast hosted on yourpodcast.com. So anything that if you have a existing company website that you want podcast.companywebsite.com to redirect to your Jellypod podcast, you can do that. If you just want to completely brand your website as your own without any sort of Jellypod branding in the URL, you can do that just by bringing your own website, bringing your own domain. So it's a super big step forward into like fully owning that page for SEO purposes, for just professionalism and branding purposes. You could do it. It's super easy. All you got to do is just, if you have a domain already, you could just put it in, follow the steps in Jellypod. When you click edit podcast, you can add your custom domain there. If you don't have a domain, just go get one from like a domain registrar like GoDaddy, Namecheap, any of the above, and then just bring it over to Jellypod. And we guide you through that process to be able to set it up within just a few minutes. 3 to 5 minutes is all it takes to get a custom domain up and running.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I think it really raises the bar in terms of the professionalism and it makes it so that the audience really feels like there is a high quality bar on the content that you're creating. I think the 2 major use cases that I've heard of so far of people using this is around like a marketing hub. So say you have some brand and you go podcasts dot the brand.
Right.
Then you're able to add, feature releases, case studies, company news. Someone can just sort of, pop into your site once a week, once a month, whatever, and just play the playlist. And while they're working, they get updated about your entire brand, and in a cool way where they're sort of overhearing a conversation about your company. So the information we've seen is more impactful that way. And the second major way is through like a training hub. Just say that you manage a sales team, you're the VP of sales for a sales team that's over 100 people. You can create a single hub where you can immediately empower your team to just sort of absorb what they should be hearing. So those
Right.
are the two major things that I've seen so far of people utilizing custom websites or custom domains.
Totally. Like I'm looking at these right now. It's interesting. So like there's, let's see some of the ones that we've added in. These are all public, so you could also always have your podcast unlisted, but if you're putting a custom domain on there, you're probably wanting it to be public. So these are some of the public ones that we've seen. There's chartlm.com. So that one, let's see what that is. Data visualization podcast. Pretty
That's
cool.
the one. That's the one that I made for the
Oh,
demo
you made that? That
yesterday.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
cool. Like, I
yeah.
think I've heard that before. ChartLM.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's
that's
a
awesome.
history of charts. So if you want to, if you want to learn about where did the histogram come from, or where did the pie chart come from? Was it a baker? Who
Right.
knows?
That makes sense. There's this other one. Let's see this one. No, that one's not set up fully. HamptonNetworkPodcast.com. HamptonNetworkPodcast.com. Shout out to you. Managing Shining Object Syndrome. This podcast is designed to help beginner aspiring entrepreneurs navigate the world of software as a service. Cool. Shiny Object Syndrome. That's the first episode in that podcast. Check it out. HamptonNetworkPodcast.com. What's some other cool ones that we're seeing? There is there was one. There was one that I saw that was like podcast dot. Let me look at this one. It was like a American Florist Society. My sister's a florist, and I sent that to her. But it was pretty cool to see someone do that. So, let's see, what's this one? The Verse Effect. The Lyrics That Changed the Game podcast about the most influential, game changing, and genre defining rap and hip hop songs. So if you're into rap and music, that one's pretty sick. Verseeffect.com.
Oh yeah, and this the person behind this podcast has been in the industry since the '80s,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, so I interviewed him. Be excited for our conversation. But he's been around since the '80s. He was on tour with Run DMC, and he's
Hmm.
got like firsthand experience of watching the major songs of the last 3-4 decades and knowing what was happening in the industry, what was happening in the country. So he's going to add a really cool flavor to to music.
That's super cool. So what do you mean you interviewed them?
Oh yeah, thanks for. So I've started. I think I've gotten through about 15 conversations
Oh, is
now.
that Alex? Is that Alex?
Oh yes, that is Alex.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
yes.
Hey, Alex.
Alex is awesome. He's got some awesome stories, but it's like he's got this unique, untapped perspective, right? You can go ahead and Google Run DMC all you want, but you're never going to know what it's like to be on a tour bus with Run DMC
Oh,
and
that's cool.
know what it was like when that song came out before rap was big, right? And what it meant for the culture, what it meant for America. So Alex knows that, and he's going to impart that. So you get to not only enjoy the song, take a blast from the past, but get such a unique lens on it that would be impossible before.
That's
So
cool.
I'm not sure when that episode with me and Alex will be dropping. I'm trying to get them out maybe like 2 a week is probably the goal. So it might be a little while before Alex comes out, but I am excited for that one to drop.
Sweet. So these case studies that you're doing, like when can people expect to hear what you've been doing over there on the interview side and case study stuff?
Yeah, I'm hoping to launch the first one today. So in the interest of just like I think the way I'm going to do it is just the first one that I recorded will be the first one that I release, and then it's going to be coming out probably once every 3 to 4 days. So one out today, and we'll have shorts kind of cascading from them. And if you're watching this and you're a customer of Jellypod and you want to share your story, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll happily hop on. That's really our goal here, is to help amplify our customers and all the cool things that they're doing. So yeah, 2 a week from here on out. I've got enough to last us for months so far. And I'll be posting them on YouTube. I'll be posting them in our Discord. So please, watch, get inspired. I'm blown away that like every single person has this super cool story, this unique experience, this really niche expertise that you're just not going to get anywhere. You're just not going to hear these stories in these unique ways from these unique people. It's incredible. I can't wait.
Great. That's awesome. No, super excited. I'm excited to hear the first one and watch it and read the case study. And then Alex, was super excited to hear that one specifically. Great to see you on the call today. But yeah, so I mean, today, day 3 with custom domains, it kind of wraps up that whole idea like, hey, amplification, branding, owning the content you're creating, web search makes it easier for you to be creative within Jellypod without having all these extra steps, and then audiograms as well. So, I mean, day 3 has been super successful so far. Tomorrow we'll have we won't have a live stream tomorrow. Cool feature coming out tomorrow. I have a lot of work still to do on that, so today's going to be a busy day because it's not ready yet. So it's gonna be fun next few 12 hours or so to get that done. But super excited, looking forward to that tomorrow. And then on Friday, we're going to do a recap of the entire week, like a weekly, not a weekly Friday, but just a launch week recap on Friday at 10 a.m. Same channel, same thing. So come join. We'll talk about everything that we released Thursday and Friday, recap everything. We're going to do like a little bit more of a deep dive into maybe the metrics, channels that like a retro kind of esque. What can we do for the next launch week? Because this is something we like to do, and I mean, it's fun to condense a lot of new features into one week and get everybody excited. Even though on our end it's hard, but yeah. So I think
Do you want to like peel back a little bit of the curtain? As like, how has it been for you? You know, how's the last week been? Has it been energizing? Is it you know?
Right. Teddy gave the answer to me right there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love this. Like, I wake up every morning just super stoked on being able to build this platform. Small team, it's just us two, and being able to do, I think, the stuff that we've been able to accomplish so far in just the few months that we've been live. It's just been really cool. It goes to show you that you can do a lot of interesting things by connecting the dots to where people are struggling, maybe where people didn't even think of themselves as a creator before, but now they are, and how they're using the platform. So for me, I mean, I get to experience a lot of customer feedback directly. So when you're messaging Jason or I in the chat in the app, we see everything. We prioritize everything, and we want to make sure that you're feeling like, hey, if there's a bug or an issue, that's addressed as quickly as possible, and if there's a feature request that aligns with our vision and our mission, they'll absolutely be prioritized and worked on. And so, a lot of the things and the features that we released this week, from web search to audiograms to custom domains, are things that many people have requested over the last few months. And so this goes right back into like, hey, if you're giving us feedback and you're helping us grow the platform and just using the platform, this is kind of one of those weeks where a lot of that effort from your end, and all of our users' ends, comes back, and is realized in like this 5-day period. But yeah, I know we launch features all the time. We've been trying to do at least one a week, two, hopefully. Um, but launch week is tough because you have to do something every day, and we took on a lot, I think, this week to do things that a lot of people have been asking for. There's one thing that is coming that's going to be huge for everybody. I think it's one of the biggest pain points that'll come after launch week, and just keep an eye out for that as well. We're going to keep this product velocity. We're going to keep it going. We're hoping to expand the team very soon. There's a few people that are going to, I think, looking to join the engineering team, and we're really excited to bring them on, so we can just deliver more features more quickly, reduce a lot of those issues and things that we're facing. But we're able to scale, and so just to wrap that up, I mean, the biggest thing for me in building this platform is like prioritizing the user experience, and I'll keep saying that over and over again. Something that's most important to me. but also building something that just looks around the edges and building sustainable and scalable system that we can that's flexible for the future, that we can just add on and build onto without a lot of like backwards rebuilding and things. And so sometimes things might come out slower just because of that reason, but sometimes you go a little bit slower to move really quickly later on the road. And so that mentality has allowed us to deliver product at this pace, even with the small team that we are. So, and thanks so much. I mean, in the comments, you see somebody saying that we built a fantastic tool. So yeah, no, thank you for using it. It's great. And I wanted to call out everybody in the Discord. I think that if you're in the Discord, it's been more active than normal recently. It's been awesome just to hear what everybody's been sharing, talking, helping each other out. So if you're not in there, join the Discord. Discord is just a community chat app. So if you don't know what it is, it's just pretty much a big messenger where everybody can help each other out, share their podcasts. We'll post announcements in there. There's a product feature roadmap there as well that you can ask for feature requests, and those are the best way for us to see them all and just have people vote on them. But yeah, I mean, that's a little monologue of mine right there. But
that was great. No, I feel like it's so like there's so much that's happening behind the scenes, and I think if there's one thing that a lot of people can sense, it's just that the product is moving so quickly, and that is entirely thanks to you.
yeah, well, hopefully soon it'll be a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I think we're right around 10:30. Probably wrapping this up, but just another call out. Join us on Friday at 10 a.m. Same time on Friday. We'll recap launch week, talk about the last two features that we're releasing. Keep an eye out on your inbox in the Discord all above to see what new features coming out tomorrow and on Friday. And yeah, just keep creating. We love seeing what everyone's seeing. Love listening to it all, and yeah, just
and don't be a stranger. Just we love the support chats. We love the feedback requests. We like the comments. We like the Discord comments. We like comments here on our live stream. Please, we read everything, and it means so much.
sick. Yeah, totally. Well, cool. Well, we'll end it here, and we'll talk to everybody and see everybody on Friday. So take care.